After so many years, the Astros finally felt what other teams used to feel when they knew their signs were being stolen. It all started with a quiet suspicion that began to grow in Hector Neris' mind from the mound. He noticed something strange, something that didn't match the normal flow of a fair game. The runners on second seemed to act with an unnatural synchronization, but what caught his attention the most was the way they let their arms hang, as if those gestures were saying more than any words. From what I can tell, whenever the runner on second saw the catcher move away from the plate, he would simply drop his right arm, signaling the batter to be ready for an outside pitch. In that at-bat, Trevor Story hit the ball to right field and ended up driving in another run for the Red Sox. Maybe for many people that's not enough, but for great hitters, a small clue can be lethal. Watch how, at times, Trevor kept looking back suspiciously at his teammate on second. After all of that, Hector Neris knew. His instincts told him. That's why he threw to the plate without taking his eyes off Story, then looked back at him again, even more convinced of his suspicions. He set to pitch again, but stepped off the mound, faking a pickoff that he never completed. Neris went back to the rubber, but his face gave him away. He was no longer comfortable out there. Then the cameras pointed to the Boston dugout, right as Alex Cora was exchanging knowing looks with players who seemed to understand the secret code, as if making sure the plan was being carried out. The tension grew when Neris repeated the move, stepping off once again without completing the pickoff. When he looked back at Story again, the murmurs started to rise among the Boston players, as if they knew their plan was about to be exposed. Then Neris quickly began signaling to the umpire, pointing at Story and demanding that he be sent to third base once and for all. The umpire didn't understand Neris' request and ended up calling a ball due to the delay. On the next sequence, Neris threw the ball into the dirt on purpose to trigger a balk and force Story to advance. Without any theatrics, Carlos Narvaez, the batter at the plate, reacted in frustration, as if something valuable had just been taken away from him, like the help he was receiving from second base was part of his plan. Then Neris, now a bit more composed, delivered the pitch and got him to hit a ground ball to shortstop. Carlos Correa fielded it with a backhand and threw to first to end the inning. Hector Neris got out of the situation with the job done, but as he walked toward the dugout, he crossed paths with Boston's third base coach and couldn't hold back anymore. He shouted that he knew everything, that he was involved too. The coach responded with a sarcastic smile and then shouted back, defending himself. The benches began to clear, both teams on the verge of a fight, the tension so thick that the slightest spark could have set everything off. Then Carlos Correa appeared like a true leader, approached Neris, calmly grabbed him by the shoulder, spoke to him firmly, and guided him back to the dugout, preventing everything from escalating. And just like that, the Astros experienced firsthand what they had caused so many times years ago when they were stealing signs in the shadows. Now they were the ones accusing, the ones carrying that same sense of frustration. The circle had closed, and baseball's justice, the kind that sometimes takes time but always arrives, gave them back the bitter taste they once handed out.